Consciousness, the final frontier. These are the voyages into the universe between your ears. Our mission, to explore collective wisdom, seek out amazing secrets, and spread the message of personal potential.
Because I went through all this journey, all these different things, but there is a moment in which a decision is. It seems like if God is in front of you, and we keep playing this, what it is that I really want, and He's looking at you, say, yeah, facing you out, what it is that you really want. He's sending you the question back, because in the point, because we believe that, oh no, but if I choose this specific things, what about the other cool things that I might skip? But no, you believe, you point to the specific things, and you believe that everything that you deserve, that you like, that, that joy and happiness will come on the path. And when you reach it, you know what I mean? And then you deny the rest. You say no for everything else. And then it becomes easier because you're not distracted anymore.
Well, that opens a huge problem, because I think a lot of people, myself included,
Gabby doesn't want to give anything up.
Simply don't know what specifically I want.
That's yes. I was going to bring that up too, because you can't be specific if you're not clear.
I you know what? I'm so happy with being general, because I'm leading this up to the journey and the way the reality is going to unfold. I'm very specific about one thing. Generally, I want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to be in a good place emotionally, right?
Okay.
Emotionally. And that could come with abundance in all of its different forms, including health, right? Including all these things, right? Abundance. Is abundance specific enough, or do you think it's too general?
It's too general, because you can be happy, or you can feel good about yourself playing tennis, getting married, riding a bicycle, moving to Brazil.
Do all of it.
So, but that's the thing. So, in all the options that you have, the question will be, what is the one thing that you believe that could bring, and you might be wrong, and as we are many times in our lives, we're wrong, but if you follow through in that sharpness, you will feel it. You will feel it. You will know as you go. And the problem is, we want to know before, because you're going to be stepping into the unknown, and that's very scary. You don't know what's going to unfold. But if you're general, and if you start doing, all that variety of things, it's already known. But what if you give yourself a chance to pick one of them? But I understand the being general, when you see, for example, a doctor, you have I forgot the name of this doctor here, when is the first one. Family doctor, I don't know. Before you go to pediatrician. No, well, before you go for optometrist, or a specific doctor, you would have to go.
Just a general practice.
Practitioner.
And
it's important for them to exist.
When you say the first time you see, I thought when you get born, a newborn baby, the first doctor that you see.
Yeah,
I said pediatrician.
Pediatrician. Yeah.
And you were meaning like the first doctor that you see when you get sick. So so he can tell you, okay, that might be special. That might be better for this kind of doctor to help you out, and then you move to the second, maybe to the third. But my question is, you maybe you're born to be general. As long as you enjoy life, and you enjoy, and you're happy, and you're getting a return. In return, I'm talking about the last return, which means financially, wealth. Why? Because this is what I said at the beginning. Until you apply your self-knowledge, your self-growth, your personal development into a little machine that helps you to communicate with your community, to help out community, and generate resources to you in the level that you believe. At a minimum, maybe you're not there, but you're on the go. You'll see that thing growing. You know what I mean? Then you're good to go. But unless you get to this point, everything you believed one day will fall apart.
So that's my bet, and I say
Yeah,
this.
we're gonna have some conflict on that, but
I mean, here's the beauty of it. Different things work for different people.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. You see, I'll argue that a person who feels that they are most successful when they're being general and just getting into the vibration of abundance, right? Just getting into the feeling of interconnectedness in this world. And that if you do stuff from that place, from the place of being completely present and love, then regardless whatever result is going to come to you, you will again accept it with love, right? And so therefore, you don't need to really be very specific, because you are engaging much bigger powers in the world. You see,
We're talking about two different kinds of people.
Different.
You're talking
general,
about somebody who's like you, who doesn't want any sort of specific.
You know what? Until 30, until I was 30, I think I knew specifically what car I wanted, for example, right? Or if I wanted to get this gadget, right? After doing this multiple times and finding no fun in it after a while, because I mean, 30 days it will last for you to be excited about a new gadget, really fancy one, right? I know another one, man, it's going to take a few hours.
Yeah, but if you, most people need to have some direction in their lives, and if you don't know what really moves you, if you don't know really what you have a passion for, then you're going to remain general
and very confused,
and you're going to be unhappy without knowing why.
Yeah.
I have friends and family like that.
And you're looking at one here. And this is what Luis is talking about, is people who need to, you got to narrow that down, right? And sometimes it's just that you got 42 different things that you have an interest in. But in order to not drive yourself crazy, you got to start by picking one and just say, all right, the decision. I'm big on the decision thing. You've got to just decide on one and let the rest of them go away. And then some of them you'll be able to go back to later. Some of them will just be replaced by something that's different and better, and you won't care, right? But yeah, we're talking about two different kinds of people, I think.
Yeah, when you're specifically looking for a life partner, like a girl you want to date, right? You can't get very specific in there, right?
Oh, I think
you can.
That's the problem, is that we don't get.
Yeah. I think you should. I think you should, unless you are very attracted to the opposite. Suppose that you like blondies, and now, oh my God, there is a brunette, extremely beautiful, and you're attracted. Just go for that, and then you see what's going to come out of it. I wanted
specifically, because I wanted a blonde. Now she's a brunette.
Well,
and I'm sorry, but I can't do it, because you know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, that's amazing. I thought I wanted this, but
that's one of those things.
How high
is that on your priority list?
Yeah. Well, but
is it a deal killer? Then you look elsewhere.
Yeah.
If that was truly a deal killer, you wouldn't even look at the brunette. Doesn't matter how good looking she is.
All right. So you nailed it, Tim, because you cannot be specific. I mean, you have to be specific about things that are red lines for you or something.
Right.
I think you have to be aware. So you have to be very specific, but be open and aware, because sometimes that specificity gives you just one more mile. Because when you walk one more mile or two more miles, you're going to see something. Oh, now I understand. It's just because I needed to get to this point. Now it's time to change a little bit directions.
I'll give you a specific instruction that will not limit me, because this is my red line, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet a woman. I'm just giving an example, hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
The blonde brunette.
In case his wife hears this.
I know. the blonde brunette, debate here, right? So I'm not going to go down to that level. I'm going to say this. I want to be specific about my desire, that I'm going to look at this woman, and it's going to be a passionate desire that this woman should have children from me, if she decides to have children, right? And that and I know it would be probably the happiest thing in my life if that's specific enough. Then whoever falls into that specific desire, it's a wide open thing, right? I mean, it could be.
No, that's not specific.
It's not specific enough.
You're dancing all around and not taking responsibility for it, for making a decision. You either want somebody who's going to have children, or you don't want somebody who's going to have children, or that doesn't matter.
Or suddenly that person, that you want children and that person can't have children, but you suddenly you developed such love for that person that then you are aware of the two paths. Should I keep looking for someone to have kids, or do I love this person enough to skip my dream to live, a beautiful life with this lady?
Now you're back to that question: is that a deal killer or is it not?
So if what I'm hearing is that you don't want to be too specific.
So you need to be specific in order to walk. As you walk, and you always hit choices, A or B. A, B, or C. When you come to that thing and then you stop and you reanalyze again. Am I in the right direction? Should I change something? It happened in business. I'm graduated in business and also in MBA. And I'm gonna tell you, not because of I don't know even why I said that, but in my businesses, even before I stepped into, I always planned. And my father is engineer also, meaning he always said that no matter the plan, no matter how specific you are, no matter how good, how many years you have in experience, whatever plan you create, things are not going to happen exactly the way you plan.
Yep.
So you need to have that flexibility in which, you're going to analyze consequences, you're going to analyze circumstances, and you're going to make choices, on spot. But
your decisions are always going to be challenged.
Yeah. But why? Because you have a sharp, big picture in your head. There's no generality. They're building a house. They know exactly how to get there. You know what I mean? No, not how. They know how to get there. They know how to plan out, like how many people are going to be working, all that kind of stuff. But suddenly someone quit or someone died, and you have to do, so many different things that you didn't even think about it. But because you have that sharp picture in your head, and that maybe in the middle of the construction, you might rethink that. Oh no, maybe I don't want the house to have a shingles. I want a flat roof, and then you change things around. But you need to have that specific things to drive you, because that keeps you. So that's the thing, because that joy, I do believe that great part of that comes from the certainty that you are in the right path. And you might not be, but you believe. As long as you believe, that joyness, that energy, that certainty, and I don't know, that comes with it. You know what I mean?
Certainly in this society, that system works better, right? You need to be very focused and dedicate. It's an action-driven world in this place, right? So, and competitive, very competitive, and knowing exactly what you want will focus your efforts and energies for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And it's only now that there's some new schools when I think people realize that there needs to be allowing of all kinds of different approaches, right? And so, and this depends so much on the person's upbringing also, right? All the stuff that worked for them, right?
Yes.
I grew up in a family where there are two extremes. One is very specific, goal-oriented person, and another one is more flowing and unpredictable, and you might say like lighthearted and accepting whatever the reality occurred, right? And so there's like a confluence of these things, and there are two schools that were always present, and I think that it's in the balance that I found my peace, right? In the balance, because I see now when I kind of know when I want to get focused and when I really don't care to be focused, right? in a particular situations, right? I think that in the balance you find that golden, you know.
Yeah, there's some times that you don't want it. There's
ratio.
just like there's just like moments in which we have to stop like waiting to want it. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to business, and you have like support. Suppose that you are a CEO of a corporation. You know what I mean? They designed the path, and there's so much involved already, and then they might not be feeling, oh, I don't feel like I'm ready for that. But the decision is made. You know what I mean? There's a team involved. There's a lot of lives involved, a lot of money, shareholders, and you just do it. So I believe that 99% of that I don't feel like doing needs to die. It's because you make a decision, you go for that. But yes, certain times, you know, if you have that flexibility, I don't want to work with this now. I need to relax because I work 10 hours straight in front of my computer, and I can't work on this plan anymore. You know what I mean? But when it comes to setting up goals and following through, it's very. Brendon Burchard talks that like I know certain of my people that I admire that I followed. There are some controversial about that, but why did I digress? I went through it. I forgot why. It's
welcome to old age.
Yeah, there is a specific. There is some beauty that comes on that specificity. And okay, I got it. It's you have to learn how to set a goal and follow through. And Brendon Burchard talks this about a lot. Like sometimes you will change the goal, but if you're changing all the time, so keep yourself aware of that, because that is your pattern to change, and you're going to change again and again and again. So you're going to hit certain results in your life that you have to understand and say, whoa, it's repeating. Do I want to keep, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, or do I want to, pick one path and make it happen? Do I want to, be blue belt in 100 martial arts, or pick one to be black belt and master that? You know what I mean? So I do believe, but if there is one thing that I would say for people who are in this situation, as I went through for 20 years, and it was very painful. The first step to step out of it, the first step to move out of this mold of generality or not knowing and trying to, get yourself straight to a nice path. The first one is stop suffering. I know that it sounds hard. Yeah, but the self-punishment, oh my God, I don't have a path. I don't know what to do. That's fine. That's fine. Congratulations, but you're still alive. You still, have a chance to experience different things. The problem is the self-punishment.
It's a piece of the victim mode.
Yeah. Yes.
And none of us can be victims. And none of us are victims. But yeah, when you start saying, woe is me, or beating yourself up because you made bad decisions or you didn't make a decision or whatever it is, you're still making yourself the victim of a decision somewhere. And it's not it's not good or bad. It's only what you decide it is. How you want to judge it, whether it's bad, is up to you.
The thing is, the more you punish yourself, taking actions is different from suffering. The more you suffer, the more tendency you have to stay in the same position or make decisions that will bring you back to the same square one. You know what I mean? Because if you're suffering, if you make decisions through suffering, it seems like there is one belief that I have that I learned in my journey, is that the outside world is a really reflection of who you are. And the victimism says that, you look at outside and say, oh, I'm suffering because of that thing that is happening to me. But actually, my understanding nowadays is it's completely the opposite. I look at things that I don't like exactly because I'm suffering, and I keep creating things. I keep talking to people in a certain way. I keep moving myself, making decisions, taking actions with that burden on my soul that creates exactly what I don't want. So, it's a way actually to look at the circumstances, understand that, okay, I don't like this. I want to change this.
So the first in this emotional immunity thing that I do, you know, that I learned and really worked for me, and I want to pass it over, is that, you know, as soon as you can get rid of that pain, you free yourself in a certain way that, you know, your decision makings, your attitude is not going to be driven by the pain. And if it's not driven by the pain, if there is freedom, there is light, there is joy, and then there is possibility, you know, to get something different, something that can be joyful. But if you act through the pain, that, oh no, I have to do this, I must, because, you know, I need, and then it's needy, it's self-pity, and you are going to probably create circumstances that you don't like.
Well, it's, you know, the brain filters out almost everything of all the data that comes at us, and it holds on to the stuff that reinforces the programs we have running. And so, yeah, if you're feeling down, you're feeling desperate, you're feeling victimized, then you're going to see evidence of it. And that's what you'll hold on to, and that's what you'll point at, and that's what you'll get more of. Mm-hmm. And then you need somebody. Sometimes you need somebody else who you're going to be willing to listen to.
But you think that people,
because there's plenty of people telling you, but you got to find somebody who you're going to be willing to listen to tell you, stop looking at this, look at this.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's what what is his name? The guy that spoke on that event that we went.
Les
what's
Brown?
his name? Les Brown. I asked him personally. He said, Luis, if you're inside of the box, you can't read the label. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You are spinning in a pattern of life that you cannot see new possibilities. You're trapped. But as long as you know that you're trapped and you'll search for help, there is possibilities. Nothing is guaranteed, but there is possibilities. That's why I always believe that you need to hook up with, you know, the right people. You need to, you know, make friendship, hang out with the right people. If you're in the business, you need to work alone as long as you get stuck, because, you know, if you always copy things from other people, you're going to be just a copy. I mean, you're going to be just a reflection of other people. And I don't believe in success coming from that point. But so I believe that solitude, you know, being alone and working by yourself is very important until you get to that point, you know, of isolation, exhaustion, and you feel like, you know, you lose your senses, your sense of creativity, and things are not working. So that's the time. That's the time to look for a psychologist, coach, mentor, consultant, whatever you think that might help in that moment. Read books. You get you know, all these actors and you know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love like some of his speeches. That he said, you know, at a certain time in your life, you need to read all the books, talk with everybody, psychologists, do everything you can, because you have a dream, you have a vision in your head, a desire. So, you know, if you're alone, what are you going to do? If you tried, you know, to walk one more mile and you can't get out of the place where you are at, so then you have to find somebody else to help out somehow, you know. And there's a problem that we keep in mind is, oh, I don't have money, for example, right? And even in my case, you know, it's a very expensive mastermind that I was listening, and I was actually making fun of it. I was making fun. Mm-hmm. I know it's going to be, you know, he didn't say anything about the price. I knew it would be very expensive, and actually it was way more expensive than I thought that he could possibly ask for. Mm-hmm. But at the end, talking with one of the teachers there, and I said, I liked the presentation. I need something like that. I just don't think that I can afford. And she said, did you make a decision? In that moment, when she said that, did you make the decision? She looked at my eyes. Did you make a decision? It came in my mind when I was in Brazil stuck and I wanted to come to the country. I made my decision. I bought the tickets. There is no way back. That's how I ended up here. I wasn't after I finished my MBA, I was in New York. I actually live in Newark. It's considered like one of the worst cities to live. But I was stuck. almost a year after the school, was done. And I started getting a little depressed and said, what am I doing here? I need to move forward. And then talking with a person in the park that I didn't know, she helped me to make a decision. And I said, man, I am going to quit my job. I am going to enroll in the school, so there is no way out. And I am going to get a new job that will be for me to be able to pay school and all this moving from New York to LA. You know what I mean? And then the decision, there is something that clicks in you. Done. I'm done with this. Now I want that. And then you pick, something that pushes you in such a way that there's no way back. So I didn't have the money to do the mastermind, but I looked at my credit card. So, oh my God, he was asking something, as a deposit, and I didn't have. But I looked at my credit card, I still have some, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. So all this thing came to my head when I was talking to her, and I made the decision. I put up the deposit. I quit my job for the second time. I quit my job and I got another one. So my answer, my perspective now is this: once you make a decision, the entire world start reoperating, rechanging things because you know what you're after. You know what I mean? But that could be, I could have been thinking generally. If I was general, I don't think that I would find the strength inside of me. You know what I mean? So that decision done. I'm gonna quit my job, enroll in school in that order, and I did this. I quit. I got in touch with the school because UCLA Extension. I've done the research 2 to 3 years before coming to the country, so I had all that paperwork was easy. I enrolled in a school without having actually the money to pay the school, and 2 days later, I got a phone call from a catering company that I was working for. They put me inside of a Hyatt hotel, and I made a lot of money, a lot, for a person who was, working with restaurants and doing, small jobs. That was a lot of money. I was able enough to pay school, to pay the move to LA, you know what I mean? And then, and as you go through, and then you're going to end up, in that cycle again until you make a new decision. You find ways to hook yourself up to certain ways that there's no way back. So this is what I think that it's important to learn to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we were talking about slightly different things. Now I understand what you're talking about. You're more talking about certainty and confidence than specificity.
No, but there was a specific, the certainty is because of the specificity. I want to go to LA to study in this school, this course. It's so specific. And I'm certain that this is what I want. And the point is this. I wanted, one of my main goal was to get involved in the film and television industry when I came to the country. And I finished school, MBA in New York. I didn't get much. I did my internship at Katie Couric Show, Disney ABC. I met some people, but never got any longer than that. It was a 3 to 4 months internship. And then I said, well, yeah, but I've never studied anything in the film industry here in the country. I've been an actor, in Brazil before. And I said, hey, that's the thing. I am going to go to UCLA Extension to study production. So I did it. But when I finished the first quarter, I said, no. I got to get back to acting. I care, I'm curious about understanding camera, lighting, production, all that kind of stuff. But I need to come back to acting. If I am getting to this industry, it needs to be related to acting. So I swap it. So he helped me to walk 1 more mile, and then I swap it. But, more important is the joy and the certainty that you find.
Luis, that decision, that certainty about this specific thing, right? In order to get to that state, you travel this journey, right?
Yeah.
It happened when it happened. I would say, the words I would use that at some point, all the experiences that you lived by that point, right?
Yeah.
And all of the thinking that you've done, right?
Thinking and doing, right? Resulted in this almost like inspired, I would call like inspired knowing, right? It's like you have such certainty about what exactly you want. Undoubtedly, and you knew exactly how, you had clarity about how you're going to go about it, right?
this is not something that I would say you could kind of produce on demand. You know, I'm going to get specific right now, right? It kind of got inspired. You know what I mean? It came to you. You almost downloaded this knowing, right?
But the thing is, for you to get to that point, I think there is a lot of planning, doing, mistaking, making mistakes and getting screwed here and there, back and forth, until you, that's the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you're only in one path, expecting the light to come, I mean that was not my experience. So what I really believe is whatever you have today, what is that light that I'm trying to follow through? If you follow through with all your heart, somehow it will come. If you're right, if you're not, if you have to change directions or not. But only like even like in religions, if you only pray or if you only meditate, if you're not out there talking to people to try to create this and that and making mistakes and failing, I don't think that those things actually come. You know what I mean?
For the person of your mindset, right? But have you experienced miracles? I experienced miracles. I could call them miracles, meaning absolutely unplanned, illogical, seemingly random events, coincidences happened, as if the wheels of the universe were working towards this without me knowing it, bringing me to this place, right? When this thing happened, and it looked nothing less than a miracle that it happened, right? And then you're looking at it and you are so excited about this. Suddenly you're finding this new quality. You jump on it, right? And you realize, oh my God, this is exactly what I wished for January. You understand? So I came to the same end point without doing much actionable, work, honestly, right? I simply kind of wished it into existence. I don't know how it happened. The how was taken care of outside of my involvement. Okay, I simply was open to whatever the signaling that happened around me, and I just trusted being present and seeing those signals, right? For example, if a friend calls me and says, hey, I have an evening free and I'm going to this event, how about you come by? I think you're gonna like it, right? Say when I was 30, I would say, no, what the hell, is boring, right? I'm going to go and watch some, HBO special. This time I'm going to say, this person picked up the phone, called me, thought of my name to call me, right? And asked me to go to this event. I'm open to this. I'm going to step into the river of this creative life, the creativity stream, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to open to it. I'm going to step into that river. I want these things come to me. I don't want to pursue them upstream. I want these things to come to me automatically, right? I just want to follow your directions. You tell me the signals, I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up, basically, you see? So that worked for some people too, right? But I think that you're right. I think that it really depends on your sort of like attitudes towards this question, right?
For this point, for this matter, I would say one thing. I never found a person who was actually waiting and they are extremely successful, joyful, a big leader. I've seen miracles and actually because, in this journey that I went through religions, I got prophecies. One day I would talk about that, but I got prophecies that came to me that happened. And I would say something like a survival thing will come to you. There is something else out there that understands your heart, your mind, even though you might be quiet, but if you have the desire to achieve bigger things, to make a bigger impact, I don't believe that there is a Jesus Christ, Lord, or any sort of spiritual light that will guide you into something. And I'm not talking about making billions or making millions or not money related. I'm talking about something that you really consider huge.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, that's a huge thing that I did in life at the end of your life that I was only waiting for. So, and the thing is, well, and who cares? Because maybe it's not for everybody to do this. You know what I mean?
No,
it's not. Yeah, it's not for everybody to do like huge stuff. So then I believe this is very personal.
It is.
You have a balance that you have to, always be testing. Am I satisfied? Am I not satisfied? Would I be satisfied with this and that, or wouldn't I? And be what is the name? Be truthful, to yourself and your decisions.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I hear you.
But I'm a dreamer, dude. I'm a dreamer. Anytime I got into this, when I don't see the progress coming up, I get burned out. And I know I question, the same emotional immunity thing that I was saying here. I question myself a lot. Where is this thing coming from? Am I trying to honor who is this? But I believe since I was very little, I was imagining myself, achieving big things, and my parents, my brother used to say, you dream too high. You dream too high. I said, well, yeah, I do. I'm sorry about that. And I've seen people who doesn't dream in anything and they are fine with a little job. I would love to be happy doing that. Yeah. Really, trust me. Yeah. I would love, because I suffered too hard to get where I am today. You know what I mean? But I do believe that actually, finally, I'm stepping on a path that I'm proud of. And my first dream is to stop doing anything that I don't like, working for people that I don't admire. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty close to get to the point. And it's so fulfilling. Oh, it's very personal.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to jump in while I have an opportunity here, because we're kind of up against a time limit today.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
So, this went really fast.
I know.
Luis, thank you.
Maybe another session, Luis.
Yeah.
Conversation.
So, but before we close, let's, Luis, we want you to let everybody out there who wants to get more of Luis Teixeira. How do they find you? Where do they go? What do they type? What do they click?
Yeah, you can get to my website, which is still like going through a lot of changes, but it's www.luiz. I'm going to spell it Luiz Teixeira, TEIXEIRA.com. LuizTeixeira.com. That's it. All right.
All right. Well, we are done. Pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Luis. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and let's get you back at some point, and we'll
thanks for
dig
the
a little deeper on stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Hi, this is Tim Starr. Thanks for joining me and Gabi on the universe between your ears. We really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us for a little while. And we'd like to see you again. So be sure to subscribe wherever it is you're consuming the podcast from, whether it's YouTube or Stitcher or iTunes or whatever the hell else is out there. We want to see you again. We also want to hear from you. So let us know what you think of each episode. Let us know if you got an idea for a future episode that you think would be just killer. Absolutely, let us know. All right? Thanks again, and we will see you next time around. Bye-bye.